old about a very famous man who did a very, very bad thing, a brutal thing that the powers that be thought they were going to cover up. They're not covering it up. It's here, baby. We're there. It's going. Full throttle. Get ready, because here we go. Now, there are two media outlets that covered this. I tweeted it out myself. I feel like it's huge news, and it shows that the dam is breaking. Now, before we get into who's behind me, her name is Ruth Coppinger. She's a member of Parliament. She's been very vocal about the fact that people seem to be getting away with a lot of raping and violence against women in Ireland. So we're going to get to her. But let's talk about a few watershed moments that we've had just in the past week. We have now had two separate occurrences of people that work for ESPN asking about this issue. Akamoto asking Dana White about the issue, and Dana White not denying it. Just saying that, well, we're not excited to hear about those things. The multiple sexual assault allegations against Conor McGregor. Full confirmation. We then have Ariel Helwani asking his management and them saying it's the tabloids' fault. Yeah, we know that's a lie. That's a large lie. This has been beyond the tabloids, and we'll get into all that in a moment. But now, let's bring it forward to this woman, Ruth Coppinger, who, bravo, famous Irish sports star, celebrities strutting around with impunity despite sexual assault allegations. And she even says, what's a woman to do on the night out? Should she just go into hiding when she sees these guys? And you may think that's over the top. And by the way, the Sun is also reporting the same thing. We're going to play the clip and really break it down, because she talks about several sexual assaults, one of which we're going to get into, because it's not just Conor McGregor getting away with this. The one thing that if you go, okay, see this right here? I have a pinned tweet. We're going to do it live. Now, you would think in this pinned tweet you'd get my thread when we hit 19 more replies. No, go check it out yourself at Jason Burmis. I'm encouraging you to do it. Okay, we'll go to the show more replies at the bottom. We'll scroll all the way down. That's it. Oh, hit the 11 ones. All right, one of the ones they let me have here is this story, okay? Just check that out. That's not the real thread. You want to see the real thread? This is the real thread. This is the thread that lets you know that this woman is telling you about a 20-year-old woman who was savagely beaten, yet the barrister, a.k.a. the lawyer, said it was consensual. And remember, McGregor showed up with his lawyer at the police station the next morning to say it was consensual, even though she hadn't made a statement against him. In fact, didn't make a statement until early January. She was so scared to death about what had happened. No big deal. But anyway, you scroll down here, you get all the way down to my thing. That's what you just saw, the censored one. But people wonder, it's because only 8% come in convictions. Now, let me tell you something right now. The United States does not have great rates either, but this is unbelievable. And one of the people early on, by the way, Truth Seeker, thank you so much. Thank you for what you're doing, allowing me to do this on a daily basis at all hours. Everybody was trying to say when this first was breaking, when I was reporting on it in January, I mean, they were throwing everything at the wall. Half thumbs down. The fanboys are out today because of this video we're about to show too, by the way, guys. But they were trying to point to a guy named Paddy Jackson as the world-famous Irish sports star. Hey, guess what? If you don't live in Europe, maybe even in Ireland, who the fuck is Paddy Jackson? I mean, folks, thumbs this video up, share it. But don't if you know Paddy Jackson, because I don't think most of you know who Paddy Jackson is. But it does seem like she may be referring to his case as well. The thing is, she could have named him because the trial was over. It's like some 42-week trial. He and another man allegedly raped a woman who was almost unconscious. 2 other men aided and abetted him. It was a huge trial, but it did spark this movement. And what you're seeing is, in the thumbnail anyway, the woman here, Ruth Coppinger, with pantyhose, because the judge actually suggested that her thong suggested consent. But we're going to let her take it away, and we're going to point to the parts that are definitely about McGregor. And by the way, if you type in Irish sports star, let's just take a look right now. This is the top story. Oh, that alleged rape victim that he didn't rape. He offered $1 million plus and she didn't want to take it because of the savage beating she took in front of people. Okay? And remember, she's going to talk about this savage beating. All right? Conor McGregor faces second sexual assault. So you mean when I type in Irish sports star in quotes, the third one is the New York Times? You mean all these articles are about Conor? Folks, if you want a really good thread before we go to this video, at Last Emperor KGB, this one is not being shadow banned. And he's done a great job with this. It really shows a lot of the background. It doesn't have quite all the information I have in my thread, but I mean, you take what you can get. I mean, when you have a guy from TSN, the Canadian ESPN affiliate, retweeting my thread, well, all of a sudden it gets banned by Jack Dorsey, because that's how we do things. So let's hear what she has to say here, Ms. Coppinger.
Taoiseach, yesterday we had the end of a court process and the sentencing of 2 teenage boys for a horrific murder of a young girl in the prime of her life. I think it was probably the most extreme example of sexual assault and misogyny the country has seen, and obviously we want to send solidarity to her family. Last month, the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre stated there was a public health epidemic of sexual violence. This time last year, thousands of people shared online pictures of their underwear with the hashtag #ThisIsNotConsent in response to victim blaming in rape trials, and Ireland trended worldwide, and we had to bring the issue graphically into the chamber.
So, again, she's going over some of the history here. And by the way, I want to thank Flick Off for the sticker super chat. They're here. Thanks for being you. Thank you, brother. And Brian Telford, he says, in this video, she alludes to the assault on tape. What's your take? I don't know that she's talking about that assault on tape. She's talking about several assaults. And I think that one is separate. I think that may have to do with the rugby players and a passed out woman. In fact, I'm pretty sure that if we go to the details here, Control F, not sure. Don't quote me on that. Let's get back to this.
A year on, Taoiseach, I want to ask you, what has your government actually done about gender-based violence? Because barristers are still trotting out the same old rape myths. In a recent trial, that it wasn't even contested the complainant was savagely beaten. The barrister suggested she'd still consented to the sex. Now,
let's go to my thread really quickly, just to show people how brutally beaten she was. This is a senior source. At the end of the day, there is no doubt the young lady suffered a horrendous ordeal. The examinations and all the evidence shows that she was raped and very badly assaulted in that penthouse suite. Found battered and bruised. These statements are hugely detailed and complex and go into the minute detail of every aspect of that night of the attack. And by the way, that's when she still hadn't made a statement. That's when other people that witnessed every single thing that I'm talking about made their statement. Yes, she was bleeding also, okay? Had choke marks. There were clear choke marks. You wonder why this thread got banned. Go there, please. Go try to share this thread. Go try to find these tweets. Choking around the woman's neck shortly after the incident Monday morning. The woman resisted and bit the man in question. Consensual. So I'm just saying, here's the suggestions of bleeding. We could get even more graphic than that. We could. We're not going to. So, but again, and Conor, although not being charged, shows up with his lawyer the next morning. Because, when I have consensual sex with a woman after savagely beating her in front of other people, I make sure the police know about it. Even though they haven't made a statement against me. So let's keep going here, because really important.
Quote, she's a whirly young girl. She's aged 20, by the way.
And this girl is also aged 20.
With experience of life, she knew what she was doing. Women are wondering why we bothered putting consent into a definition of consent into the law. It's not worth the paper it's written on.
Damn straight.
In another court this week, a complainant who was raped by 2 men, allegedly, is told by the barrister she consented, she wasn't drunk enough, and she had the presence of mind to fix her skirt. So being beaten, being raped multiple times, even having video evidence, doesn't seem to be enough to be believed.
And again, this is what Brian, and thank you for the super chat, is alluding to. We know that there is CCTV footage of leading up to the latest sexual assault incident in the car. And by the way, if you think that there's a chance that she wasn't forced into that car, again, I don't know much about the second incident. I'm talking about the December one. But there was another incident in L.A. where a bottle service girl was thrown over McGregor and Charlie Ward's shoulders and just taken outside, and she looked, I saw fear in her eyes. Like, what the fuck is happening? A second witness said he noticed the group moved outside and decided to follow, thinking something might be wrong. When he got outside, he said the woman in the back of the SUV trying to roll down the window and freaking out. Yeah, no, these guys aren't dangerous. This was in L.A. You never heard about this. Oh, and by the way, the December incident in Dublin, in Ireland, was not the first incident. Was not the first incident. And look, oh, that's right. He was previously accused of attacking another woman in recent months at a separate venue. That was quietly hush-hushed. Someone took some payoffs. And by the way, not just one incident in Dublin. There are reports of previous incidents happened also involving the sports star and members of his entourage in Ireland. They may also be revisited. So let's get to the shebango. Here we go.
Is it any wonder we've reports of famous sports celebrities strutting around with impunity despite sexual assault allegations? Are women to go into hiding every time such a figure decides to go on a night out?
Oh, so if Conor McGregor's out with his crew, you better just go the fuck home. Because you might just get beaten and raped and nobody seems to care. Thank you so much, Miss Coppinger. Thank you so much, Ruth, for telling it like it is. I only wish the laws did not constrain you from naming this monster, because I am going to name him.
Now, following protests after the Belfast rape trial, you commissioned the O'Malley report. It was meant to report last year. Here we are, the end of 2017 or 2019 almost. You know the figures already. I won't repeat them. But 10 women are murdered annually. 1 in 3 are coercively controlled, and 1 in 4 have experienced physical and sexual violence. And you have to judge how important the government considers an issue by how much funding it gives.
We'll leave it there, guys. I mean, there it is. The times are changing. You want to share this thread? You want to share this video? You want to tag the UFC, Dana White, Ari Emanuel, WME Entertainment, your favorite fighter? I never want to see him fight again. Share the Prime Fedor thread, Last Emperor KGB. It hasn't been shadow banned yet. If you want to find, I don't know how you are going to be able to find my tweets. Again, the thread's gone. Even though it's there when I'm logged in, it looks like it's there. But all those articles, you just type in Irish Sports Star. That's all you got to do. All this stuff is available, guys. All of it. Every single one. Irish Sports Star in quotes. You want to read through your own threads, you want to do your own investigations, it's right there. Thumbs this video up, share it with others, join the Burmese Brigade. Let's get to 40,000 strong, huh? Let's do it this month. Let's see if we can get up to 40,000.